get going. Today's agenda, we're going to be talking about a little bit about what is Speechcraft, why you want to do it. Then, of course, we'll jump into promotion, preparation, and execution. First things first, who had never heard of Speechcraft before they heard of this presentation? So there's a few. Who has never been part of a Speechcraft? Most. And who's considering Speechcraft for the first time? All right, good. Good to hear. Speechcraft overview, it is a 4, 6, or 8 session workshop for new or non-Toastmasters. This isn't something you would give to people who've been in Toastmasters for a couple of years, finish their competent communicator. It doesn't make any sense. They're the ones that run, not the people who are participating in the workshop. It can either be inside your club or outside of your club, depending on your purpose. There's a lot of reasons to run a Speechcraft workshop. If it's inside the club at your normal meeting time and location, it's typically to improve or increase your membership. If it's outside the club, it could be for a number of reasons. It could be for outreach, for something beneficial, maybe you're a corporate club and you want to run Speechcraft to help your company out, things like that. And of course, 4, 6, 8 sessions, inside, outside, it definitely matters what your club can deliver. If you've got 8 people in your club and you're trying to increase membership, it might be kind of difficult to run this outside of your typical meeting time and get enough commitments to run it. It teaches the fundamentals of public speaking. It takes you through your first few competent communicator speeches. People who finish the program actually get credit for their competent communicator, their first 3 speeches, if they continue as a Toastmaster. And they have some meeting goals. They won't be doing everything, but they will be tested as a tabletop speaker, as a timer, things like that. There's a strong mentoring aspect from the members of your club. The members of your club are going to really get to test the mentoring level, and it's a really valuable exercise to improve and increase the leadership abilities of your club. It can be used as an educational tool for, again, maybe a corporation or a local college, things like that. Or it could even be a fundraiser for your club. You can charge $20, $30, $40, whatever it is, and I know a guy who might be able to get you a free Speechcraft kit. Therefore, your costs would be very minimal. Therefore, you could make a lot of money doing this if you really needed to boost the treasury of your club. It's similar to a normal club meeting. You have a lot of the same roles. You have speeches, things like that. You have a structured agenda, which is given to you, so it's pretty easy. You'll have guides and workbooks, and we'll see those later. You have targeted educational speeches. You're trying to give people the 101s of public speaking. So this is going to be a normal meeting where, imagine somebody shows up to your club and they want to join, and they see 2 people who are advanced communicator goals or distinguished Toastmasters giving amazing speeches, and they might be a little intimidated. And if they do decide to join, they're kind of thrown into the fray without a whole lot of hand-holding. Speechcraft really makes it a lot easier. The speeches for each session would be speeches given to teach them about their next week assignment. Participants are doing more and more each session. The first session, for example, they're typically completely spectators. They don't do anything. They watch and they learn a lot. The whole session is about teaching them the 101s of Toastmasters and public speaking. As things go on, they give their icebreakers, they answer tabletop questions, eventually they start evaluating each other, introducing each other, then they might take out a role like a timer or the tabletop professor, things like that. Another thing is it can be used to start a new club. When you think about that, you're training a lot of new people very quickly. You've got a whole bunch of people maybe you're starting a corporate club, and a dozen people have never been Toastmasters before. You can train a lot of people very quickly with the Speechcraft workshop. And of course, you might want to get some help from some strong Toastmasters in the area. For example, your area director might want to help out, your division director might want to help out, your Speechcraft chair for the district might want to help out, things like that. And when you're thinking about it, you're really kind of onboarding people really quickly in just a few weeks or a few sessions. And then all of a sudden, they're much more ready to prepare and give back to being strong members of the club. So now we've gone through the overview, let's get into the meeting. Promotion. If you host it, they will come, right? No, that's not going to happen. If you just say, hey, we're going to have a workshop, and then just expect people to show up, it's not going to happen. You have to promote. You're going to have to come up with some kind of game plan that works for your club. Each club is very different. And you're going to need everyone's help. What ends up happening is someone kind of is maybe the champion of it, and then a lot of people are like, yeah, they'll just do it. You really need to impress upon people that you're going to need some help. You're going to need help with whatever your plan is for getting the membership drive out, things like that. Whatever it is, getting the word out that makes sense for your club, you're going to need some help with that. Give yourself at least a month. If you think, well, this is presentation on Speechcraft, we should start next week. Might be kind of hard. Unless you got 5 new people that just joined last week. It could be kind of hard. So give yourself a month to figure out how to prepare and plan. Use a membership building campaign. Especially think about like the Smedley Award or the Beat the Clock or whatever. Maybe time a Speechcraft workshop and your membership building drive around that. So you can get yourself extra ribbon. If they ever decide to give incentives again, you'll get a little extra money in your treasury, things like that. There are 3 different prongs for promoting: personal, physical, and digital. Let's get into that. Personal promotion. What's the most effective way to promote Toastmasters? That's right, word of mouth. Person-to-person communication, personal invitations. That's the most effective way to promote it. So talk to your friends, talk to your coworkers, say, hey, there's people at lunch that have asked you, like, what do you do on that, Wednesday afternoon or Tuesday morning or Thursday night? What is it that you do? And people who have shared some kind of interest say, hey, you should come check us out. Because this is really the best time to join a Toastmasters club. Who would have liked to have had their hand held through their first few sessions of Toastmasters and had a mentor working with them one-on-one, where the meetings are all about you when they first join? Pretty much everyone, right? So this is really the best time to join. Who's the most likely person to quit a Toastmasters club?
One who doesn't have a mentor.
The person who just joined. When you think about it. The people who are the newest are the people who just joined. But yes, if you don't have a mentor helping you along, they frequently will quit. I've definitely noticed that the most likely person to quit is the most recent person to enter. Very common. So if you had a much better, if you had a mentor, if you had a set of meetings that are focused on you, you're more likely to stick with the club. This will definitely improve your retention. So it's the best time to join. Once you've shown interest in one way, shape, or form, or maybe people who have talked about upward mobility in their career and said, how am I supposed to do that if I don't know how to communicate with people? Say, hey, you should come to my Toastmasters club, stuff like that. Physical promotion. Flyers. The Toastmasters.org has flyer templates, and you can download those, and you can just fill in your club details down here, post them, done. You don't have to do what I did, which was to design one from scratch. You could also do that as well. Brochures. There are a lot of different brochures. I'm going to point out a few here. You'll see them in a minute, but there are some brochures here. These ones are more for showing your club, and they say, hey, this is a good reason. These are the reasons why we would want to host a club or a Speechcraft workshop. And these are the flyers you give to the individual people who might join, where it says, hey, this is a good workshop to join. You should see. I'll be passing these around in a minute. Everyone should pass them out again. It sounds weird that I'm going to keep hitting this home, but a lot of people go, oh, there's 1 or 2 people doing all this Speechcraft stuff. I'll just sit it out. You really have to encourage people. When you're at each meeting in the month beforehand, you want to let people know, hey, I need your help on this. You're going to have to pass something up. You're going to have to give personal invitations to a friend. You're going to have to reach out to some people. Not just the Speechcraft coordinator, of course. With these flyers, you can pass them out at coffee shops, restaurants, stuff like that. Any place where there's a commons area, like a community bulletin board, you can find those anywhere in your area. Make sure you ask first. What's really funny is if you ask, I've never been turned down. So if you ask, they will say yes. If you don't ask, they will take it down immediately. So just go ahead and ask. And of course, if you have a corporate club, things like break rooms, common areas where they have cork boards and stuff, where people would put their Girl Scout cookie sign-up sheets, stuff like that. Digital promotion. Does everybody have a ToastmastersClub.org website? The floater messages that go at the top when there's like, oh, we're not meeting today because of Christmas or whatever, that kind of thing. Put up a little floater message that says, hey, we're going to run Speechcraft starting this day. Do that for a month. Then when people come by and they're looking for a Toastmasters Club to join, or they check you out for whatever reason, they'll know. Email the past members, past guests, and prospects. You have that tool right there on your ToastmastersClub.org. Okay? So have the vice president of membership or PR or whoever the coordinator is send a detailed email to the past members, the guests, and say, hey, this is the best time to join or rejoin. D6TM.org, there's a district calendar for the district. You can post a Speechcraft event. Maybe someone's looking for it, or maybe someone wants to help out or whatever. Post your event there so people know it's coming up. Email nearby clubs. Offer to train their new members. Like, hey, let's say there's a club like a few blocks away that has some brand new member, and you say, hey, why don't you have them come over here for a few sessions? Don't even charge them or whatever. And you might accidentally coach them, But in the meantime, if you, let's say you had a Speechcraft and you were looking for maybe 5 or 6 people, and you only had 2 or 3, you had a couple extra people, you'd have the more full, well-rounded Speechcraft, and then you do the community a favor by helping out a nearby club to train them, make them a stronger member, and they'll go back to their own club. Google Forms. Now we're getting kind of the technical social media stuff. Of course, I'm a tech master, so this is second nature for us, but Google Forms, I use that to make a sign-up sheet, so whenever I pass out the link, like, hey, this is where you would go to sign up, I threw that together in 10 minutes. Eventbrite.com, you can create an event for your workshop. LinkedIn, does everybody have a LinkedIn account for their club?
Oh,
I'm the only one? Alright. You could go ahead and make a group in LinkedIn. It's a professional organization, right? You can post an article about Speechcraft. I've done that. Twitter.com, everybody's club have a Twitter account? I'm not the only one, am I? I know Kate does because I made it. Anybody else? Alright, one more. Okay. Well, it's pretty easy. Maybe the VP PR or the secretary could tweet something during the meeting, that kind of thing. So have members retweet the club's tweet, so the club will put out an official tweet about the Speechcraft club, then all the members can retweet. But of course, if your club doesn't have one and they don't feel that they want to take 10 minutes to make an account, go ahead and say, hey, I, the Speechcraft coordinator, I'm going to make this tweet. Please retweet it. Remind them because they won't. So let them know. Please retweet this because they're giving it out to their professional network and that could reach a lot of people. Facebook. Does everybody have a Facebook group for their club? A few more. Get there. Good. So it's a good time to invite people to the group. Maybe some people that you would have reached out to in person. You can send invites to the group to people. And you have your posting of your Speechcraft flyer there and everything. And you can share your group post to your personal account. Everybody have a meetup for their club? Couple. Right. So everybody should have one, and maybe it's a little bit cost prohibitive. So maybe you should look into one thing that I'm doing with a few clubs. Is we have 4 clubs that have a meetup group together. So it's a really active meetup group, and there's a whole bunch of people involved, so it's really strong. Modify the meeting that you have on meetup.com to mention it. Instead of just having we're having a meeting, at Thursday night at 5 o'clock, say, this is a special meeting, Speechcraft. This is the best time to join. Send it to all the meetup members. If you have any experience with meetup, you know that you have 20 people in your Toastmasters club and 100 people on your meetup club, and you don't know 94 of them. So this is a good time to say, hey, those 94 workers that have never been to your club? Now's the best time to join. Look for nearby meetups. There might be other Toastmasters club nearby or other public speaking clubs, whatever, or anything that fits the mold that might fit your club or Speechcraft. And send a message to them, join their club, maybe attend one of their meetings. They would appreciate that. If you attended another club or some other professional meetup group and say, hey, we're having this event during whatever announcement period they have. Your corporate club, I don't have each individual corporate club is totally different, but you may have your own tools, your own digital board where you can post messages, whatever it is for you, gear that toward your corporate club.
One of the tools you should have is a good evaluation form, like this one. You should have an evaluation tool like this one.
Okay.
It's a very fine form.
There you go. And a wonderful segue into this slide, which is, does anybody have any kind of promotion suggestions that maybe have worked for them? Yep.
We had a Speechcraft should be precedent. Sent letters to a number of businesses
you go. So he says reach out to the HR departments of nearby corporations. Definitely a very good idea. And another thing, maybe even offer to give a speech or some sort of presentation or demo meeting, anything like that, to folks come in. But if you do a really good job, that might be the only kind of promotional tool you'll need. So you got 4 members. Well, in general, Speechcraft, what are you going to have? 2 to 6? It's going to sound like a pretty good number. If you have more than that, it's going to be an interesting meeting. You're going to cut out some educational sessions. You might have to break it up, maybe make a 2-3 hour meeting, that kind of thing. It's pretty difficult. Anything over here?
Then HR is a good idea, because I know the state minute office, they pay membership fees for all their employees, they just don't know that that's a benefit that they have.
Yeah, I mean, they may have those kinds of things and they don't promote it very well, so we kind of have to be their promotion. Yep.
We've advertised in local neighborhood newspapers with good results.
There you go. Local newspapers. Any other suggestions for promoting either Toastmasters in general, but Speechcraft in particular? Yep.
I want the poetry club in Edina, and we had open night. So then I offered people to come to our club, because it'd be great to be a Speechcraft for going to open nights and offering dinner, because there's lots of people who are sitting there minding it after they're too shy to do it.
There you go. Interesting. All right, preparation. We've promoted it. We've started putting everything out. Now we have to go. Okay, what are we gonna do when we get to these? Have several new people coming in. How are we gonna actually make this happen? Speechcraft kit. This is a Speechcraft kit. Comes in I forget what. I think it costs like $20, $25, something like that. It has a lot of things in it. I'm gonna go over each one individually. We're going to have the lovely Kate pass these out as I mentioned them. First, we have very, very important coordinator's guide. The coordinator's guide is really your key here. When you are the Speechcraft coordinator, you're going to say, well, how am I supposed to make these new sessions and agendas? And they're all going to be completely different. The Speechcraft coordinator guide gives you all of that. It tells you what you have to do. It actually lays out your agenda for you for each individual session. And it gives you a lot of different tips. It doesn't just not just the one thing where it says here's some agendas. It gives you a lot of different things. Introduction to the Speechcraft program, organizing the program, finding participants, a lot of the stuff we're talking about in this particular presentation. Then we have the mentor instructions. Everybody in your club should be available to be a Speechcraft advisor. This is going to be a really valuable part of Speechcraft. It's very overlooked in the sense that you're teaching every one of your members to be a better mentor, to be a better leader. What's the tagline for Toastmasters? Where leaders are made. That's right. Not where good speakers are formed. Where leaders are made, right? And that's a really powerful, potent tool of the Speechcraft workshop. Next, we got the workbook. Each person that joins the Speechcraft workshop is going to get a workbook. It's a lot like the coordinator's manual, but it's like a normal high school, college speech workbook. It's going to give you, if you notice, there's an evaluation guide for the icebreaker. Then there's how to introduce the speaker. There's going to be evaluation. There's going to be impromptu speaking. There's organize your speech, get to the point, things like that. Yes?
How many workbooks are included in a pack?
I think it's 5. And you can buy extras for about $2.50 each. You get 3 coordinators guides for some odd reason. 2 would be more than enough. 1 would be fine for 90% of cases. 3 is just crazy. But whatever. Then you get a few of these brochures that I mentioned before. This one is for if you're trying to explain why your club should host it. And it's going to be, the tagline here is your club's #1 membership building tool. That's, who here would like to have more members in their club? And Toastmasters says this is the #1 membership building tool. So if you want more members in your club, what does Toastmasters recommend more than anything? Run a Speechcraft. Yes. Right. And if you need some convincing to your club, definitely show them that brochure. The next one is Speechcraft, an opportunity to succeed. You're going to get a few more of these. I think it's something like 10 or 20 in your Speechcraft kit. And this is something you would hand out to someone, whether you give each of your members a couple to pass up to their coworkers or friends or whatever. Or maybe if you are presenting somewhere in a corporate club, you might be able to give some sort of presentation. Or, for example, I get a lot of presentations at technical conferences. And I mentioned my IT club is saying, hey, it's random IT people who are typically really poor at public speaking. Why don't you come to our club and learn how to do that part of the soft skill portion of it? And you can bring these with you to pass up. Then we have a couple of certificates. This one is what you end up doing at the very end of the Speechcraft workshop after all the sessions are done. Get everybody up in front and everybody holds these, and then you take a picture and you post it up on all your social media that I mentioned, that home stuff you have. That's where you would put those. Then there's another one, there's a coordinator one. And the coordinator one is way different because it says coordinator instead of participant. But that's what you give to the coordinator. The coordinator, by the way, gets credit for advanced communicator goals. If you look into your advanced communicator goal, one of the requirements is to run a workshop. Those workshops can be found in Expanding Your Horizon, which is also going to come in your Speechcraft kit. Now, Speechcraft was my favorite, but there's a lot of other things. Anybody ever done parliamentary procedure in action? That's another common one. There's a whole bunch of different ones. Leadership, improving your management, how to conduct productive meetings, listen effectively, art of effective evaluation, tons of stuff in here. So you have to run one of these workshops in order to get your advanced communicator goal credit. And of course, if you're looking for a Speechcraft kit, I know a guy who might be able to get you a free one. If you fill out the Speechcraft pledge that tells me who you are, what your club is, and when you plan on starting it, so that can help you prepare, plan, and execute your Speechcraft effectively. Next up, choose a coordinator. Your coordinator should be a pretty experienced Toastmaster. They'll probably be the Toastmaster each session. You're going to have 4, 6, or 8. Someone who will be willing to come each meeting and probably be the Toastmaster for each one. They should have some kind of knowledge of Speechcraft before they join in on it, right? And they should have some kind of belief. They should be on board with it, like this is a good idea, so that they actually commit themselves. They're willing to herd the cats for a few weeks because it's not going to be quite as comfortable as your other meetings. You're not going to be going through the motions, doing the same things where people can step in normally. You're going to have some new people who might be a little flaky, and you're going to have to figure out how I'm going to roll with these punches. And of course, somebody who might be looking to finish their advanced communicator goal. Just like I said, you need to run one of these workshops in order to finish your advanced communicator goal. Session agendas. The coordinator should work with the Vice President of Education to develop these agendas because they're a little bit different. You might want to be changing your agenda on your toastmastersclub.org website. Look in the coordinators guide. Like I had mentioned, it not only does it have the basic agenda for each individual session so that you can fill out your agenda and send it to your members, but it has a lot of tips and ideas about what to do. A lot of the stuff we're talking about today, and a lot of other tips and tricks for running a successful Speechcraft workshop. There are educational speeches that are available for each of the individual sessions that are given by your members, or maybe a guest speaker or something like that. And each of these ones have an outline. They actually go so far as to tell you what these speeches should be about. Instead of just saying, hey, somebody should give a speech. It's somebody should give a speech and they should be talking about this, this, and this. They might give a paragraph explaining it. They might even have an outline for you. A lot of times what I noticed was that they line up very well with the successful club or better speaker projects. If you're looking to get some credit for your advanced communicator silver or advanced leader bronze, you might be able to get kind of 2 birds knocked out with 1 stone. So look into that, see what makes sense, and say, hey, I noticed you're getting pretty far on your advanced leader bronze. You need to give one of these presentations, and this would work well for the Speechcraft. Nail down your meeting roles and advisors, who's going to be advising who, backups, in case somebody can't make it. One thing I've noticed is that if my current members are looking at the schedule and they say, boy, not very many roles to fill because the Speechcraft participants are filling in more and more roles. They're doing the speaking, they're doing the evaluating, then at the end they're being the timer and things like that too. They look at the schedule and they go, wow, I don't have a role today. And they just don't show up. So our attendance all of a sudden tanks to me and the participants and like 1 or 2 other people who are actually on the schedule. So make sure you let them know, like, please be there to be the advisor in case somebody else can't make it. You know, we have to mentor these people, we need to help out. So make sure you nail down the meeting roles and advisors, but continue to let them know, please keep going. Mentoring. A lot of times when people are approached to be a mentor for Speechcraft, they're like, whoa, I can't be a mentor. How could I do that? I've only been a Toastmaster for 6 months or whatever, or a year, or even 2 months. Well, here's the thing. The only thing you're trying to do is guide them through their first few speeches, right? Well, if someone's been in the club for 4 months and they've given 5 speeches, they're qualified. In fact, you've been in Toastmasters a really long time. Do you remember your first 3 speeches? No, exactly. Maybe the person that just joined a few months ago totally has all 3 right there on the tip of their brain, and will actually have a little bit better insight as far as how to help a brand new person. You get competent leader credit as well. Toward the end, it says if you mentor someone through 3 speeches or whatever, then you get competent leader credit. Mix that into Speechcraft. All of a sudden, you're getting 2 for 1, 3 birds with 1 stone, 5 birds with 1 stone. You can double up and triple up and make sure that you are really efficient with your awards and stuff. I think Helen knows something about getting awards real quick. Anyway, new members will be better prepared to contribute if they're mentored properly. So let everybody know it's really important to help out with mentoring, because all those new members will be much better prepared to contribute, and their retention is going to be a lot higher too, because they're helped out a lot, and they brought their hand is held through the whole process, and in just a few sessions, in just a few meetings, all of a sudden, look at us, I'm really experienced, I feel really comfortable now. And you'll actually be able to watch them from session to session to session. You'll be able to see each individual meeting. They're getting more and more confident every time they give any kind of whatever role they have. They get better and better and better. You can see that really quickly. Prepare your members. Give a speech about Speechcraft beforehand. Instead of saying, 1 or 2 people are like, yeah, let's do this, and then nobody does anything for a month, nobody has any clue what Speechcraft is. Put it on the schedule that someone will give a speech about Speechcraft. Then it will kind of warm up your members to what Speechcraft is and what to expect, and it will also maybe give the person giving the presentation a little extra time for some sort of incentive or motivation to research Speechcraft. I might do it for you, by the way, if it's convenient, and I can record it and put it on YouTube. Why? Because I'm actually doing Competent Communicator this year, all on Speechcraft. About 4 out of 10 times. Getting there. Make sure everyone is briefed on what to expect. Like I said, maybe during a presentation, maybe to send out some long-winded email, that kind of thing. And make sure everyone's questions are answered. Like I said, if you just have a couple people who know what's going on and nobody else, it might not go as smoothly as you'd like it to go. Does anybody have any other preparation tips, or anything that may have worked for them, or things to remember, or caveats, like, oh, we didn't do this? Nope. Yep.
One thing that we found, if your mentor is actively engaged with the Speechcraft participant, more than once, the Speechcraft participant got confused about giving a speech and basically reiterated what was in the workbook as opposed to giving a speech that just utilized the guidance from the workbook. It seemed weird when it first happened, but then I saw it happen again, and I'm like, okay, that's just something that mentors need to be very aware of and engage with their mentees.
And at the end of each of the sessions, you should hopefully set aside a few minutes. And when the coordinator is sending out emails, make sure to let them know, hey, you can ask us for help. So that if you are unsure of what to do, come back and read your workbook. I haven't seen that one yet, luckily. So, anything else? On to the execution. So we've talked about how to promote it. We've brought in a ton of people. We've got 10 people signed up on our Google Forms. Okay, you're starting to prepare. You get all your advice, get your ducks in a row. Now what do we actually do when we're going through it? In your first session, that is an educational session. You're not expecting anything from the participants. They're not going to answer the table topics message. Nothing. They're just going to be drinking it all in. Make sure you have a very good first impression. Don't slap it together. Make sure everyone's prepared. Stuff like that. Maybe you should have snacks and drinks if you got some extra money in the treasury, whatever. Really make sure people feel right at home. Make sure there are enough workbooks. Like I said, you get 5 in the starter kit. If you get more than 5 people signing up for your Speechcraft, make sure you got more than 1. Of course, make sure these participants have paid. If you give someone a workbook and they haven't paid, don't expect to see their workbook again. You just lost $250. Describe your roles extremely thoroughly. As you're going through your first session, instead of saying, I'm the timer today, you'll get the green light at this and yellow and red. They have no idea what the hell you're talking about. Whenever you have a guest at any Toastmasters meeting, you should be describing this stuff very thoroughly. But in Speechcraft, act like you're teaching a bunch of little kids that don't know the first thing about Toastmasters. Make sure you are explaining all of your roles extremely early, so they really know what to expect, especially since they're going to be doing those exact same things in the next few sessions. In the subsequent sessions, the coordinator should be sending out a very, very detailed email early, and make sure that they have a reminder email. So let's say you're meeting once a week. Say you meet on Saturdays at 10:15 right here. On Saturday afternoon, you should send out a really, really thorough, detailed email of what exactly to expect. Maybe give some recap. Let's say somebody gave the Evaluate to Motivate speech. You can say, if you're looking for more tips on evaluation, or if you wanted to see that presentation again, here is the PDF or the PowerPoint that you can find on Toastmasters Online. Give them all the resources so that they could remember what they had. If you recorded it, send them a link to that video. Be very thorough about assignments. So instead of saying, remember your assignment or whatever it is, make sure you point out and read chapters 1, 2, 3 in your workbook, and you're going to give this speech. It's supposed to be 3 to 5 minutes. You'll notice in the workbook that the speeches are a little bit shorter. Instead of 5 to 7, it'll be 3 to 5, 4 to 6, that kind of thing. Make sure you're very explicit, and remind them of the resources that are there to help, such as their mentor. What you want to do is to say, here are these 5 Speechcraft participants, here are your assigned mentors, here's their email address, whatever it is, if they forgot to write it down or they were meeting with them at the end of the first session. Okay? And of course, maybe someone's out of town, like I can't make it next week, so someone will have to replace me as mentor for the week or whatever it is, that kind of thing. And give them links to maybe, let's say you're on a session where they're going to they're going to give a give topics response. You can give them the Think Fast PDF, and they'll tell them how to prepare their table topics response. Another thing you could do, if they're going to they're going to be a timer, you can give them the Toastmasters timer role, but then give them the caveats of, but the speeches are going to be 3 to 5 minutes next week, not 5 to 7 or whatever it is, and brief them on that. But of course, then say, if you have further questions, speak to your mentor, who is this person with this email address. Okay? Very thorough, so that they show up and they don't read the workbook. They actually do the assignment. Encourage your current members to attend. I kind of alluded to this before. They have fewer and fewer roles, so fewer and fewer people show up, I've noticed. Pretty much universally. They lose interest in attending those particular meetings. They think, oh good, it's the week off, or the meeting off, I get to worry about something else. But you really do need those advisors and mentors. And of course, if you show up and there's you and 4 Speechcraft participants and nobody else, we're either going to ask tabletop questions to. You're going to run out pretty quickly, and your segment's going to go a little short. Let them know it's a really valuable portion of the meeting for you to be there to advise the participants. And of course, when they're mentoring, when they're doing that, you're helping the club. Everyone's becoming a better leader, and everyone is going to be able to rise from tide, raise all ships, and all that kind of goodness. And of course, be flexible. Like I was mentioning before, if you have 5 random people and they're going to be told, okay, in a couple weeks you're going to be getting a speech and an evaluation and an introduction and you're going to be a timer, it might be a little overwhelming, and they're not going to tell you that. They're just not going to show up. So, if you have 5 people, think about what would happen if you had 3. A lot of times you'll notice in your agenda, you'll look at it and you'll say, how am I going to get 6 people speaking and give 2 educational speeches and all the evaluations and tabletops in 1 hour? It's not going to happen. So you might take out an educational speech or both of them, whatever. Because the more important thing is to get people to do their assignments, right? So then, if you think, okay, what happens if 2 people don't show up? Then have that educational speech ready. So be flexible. Of course, roll the punches. If you look all discombobulated and frazzled, no, what are we going to do? It's not going to bode very well to the people who are thinking about joining your club. In the final session of your workshop, whether it's 4, 6, or 8, make it really fun. Go over the top. Have a lot of pomp and circumstance. Dress up in dress clothes, whatever. Have a guest speaker. It doesn't need to be the final session either. If you're going to get a guest speaker, whether it's an executive at your company or the mayor or somebody in the city council or the area director or whatever it is, it doesn't have to be the final session if it's not convenient for them. But it is really cool to have somebody important, an executive at your company or something, show up and give a presentation about the importance of soft skills or whatever at the finals. In the final session, especially if maybe you got 4 people signed up and 2 people have already joined the club, but 2 people haven't. to really seal the deal, have a guest speaker telling him how important it is to keep going. And of course, it could be me, like I said, if it's convenient. And like, I think this guy over here is from Thunder Bay, sorry, not coming. And if I can record it and then put it on YouTube, like I said. Any execution tips? Any other, what should be done? Anything that's worked for you? Yep.
Well, it's not a tip, it's questions, is that okay? I'm curious, how many, some numbers, how many people would you expect to have to make it successful? Are you looking at 5 participants, because that's how many books, more or less, and how many speeches are in a session? Is it the standard 1 or 2, or is it 5?
So she's wondering how many people would normally make a successful Speechcraft workshop, and how many speeches per session. Big fan. For the first answer, what's a success? It really means what are you really trying to accomplish? Improve your membership, increase the leadership of the people in your club. If you had one new long-term member that stayed on with the club, and everybody's got some leadership skills, personally I call that a success. But how many should you really be expecting to show up? I would say in general, typical, like 2 to 6 for the normal club. If you get more than 5 or 6, it's going to be hard to fit that many speeches in. Because, to kind of segue to your next question, if you're going to give your icebreaker, it isn't one week and one the next week or anything like that. Everyone's going to give their icebreaker.
That's what I wondered.
Now, of course, these are shorter ones. I think it's 2 to 3 on the Speechcraft one. So 2 to 3 minutes for a Speechcraft icebreaker. So you can jam 6 in. But then a couple weeks later, they're giving like a 4 to 6 minute speech. So how are you going to get bare minimum? 4 times 6 is 24 minutes. A minute for introduction, and then you have all those evaluations, and throw tabletops in there, timer report, all this and that. It's really crowded. You're supposed to throw in an educational speech, and the ones I mentioned from Better Speaker Series, the Successful Club Series, 10 to 15 minutes. Lots of evaluation for those. We're running out of time real quick. So again, you might want to be flexible and pull one of those out, or maybe cut out the evaluation portion of your Successful Club Series, or instead of 10 to 15, make it 8 to 10, whatever it is. Be flexible on that. But if you do have something like 8 or 10 or 12, it's hard to turn people away. You might expand your 1 hour meeting to a 2 hour meeting. You might split it up into different days, whatever. But if it's a good problem to have. The only time I heard of that was someone who intentionally was a corporate club. They were intentionally trying to get a ton of people. He's not here now, but he said he had 18. I have no idea what they did. It's totally different. Yep, in the back.
Yeah, we had a big group one time, we had a group like this where we combined it up for the speeches and all that, so we had half and half.
All right.
And then we were mixing up next week and different people, different times. So we had different supplements, and we had 4 supplements, and we divided it up, so everybody had a sheet.
Great. So essentially, they had a room divider, but if you could reserve another conference room and then have 2 going at the same time, you could even do something like someone's giving an educational speech over here, someone's giving the table topics over there, then maybe those exact same people would switch, so you don't have to have double the members doing all the roles. And then you can just give the speech again, and they can do table topics again, that kind of thing. Yep.
What about extending the length instead of 4 weeks, go to say 6 weeks, and then get more time, a couple extra meetings.
Yeah, you could do that. You can make new meetings where it's all about, where you're splitting the current agendas that are in there into multiple sessions just to be able to get them all done. Yep.
Have you found that people are more likely to commit to a 4-week workshop versus a 6-week workshop? And do you hold these workshops once a week for a month, or once a month for 4 months? What kind of time schedule are you looking at?
She's wondering about, would people commit more to a 4, 6, or 8 week workshop? I've only done one 8 week, and the club said that's too much. We don't want to do that anymore.
Oh,
And so we cut down to 4. And we've seen the same. I haven't seen a change in reluctance or eagerness to join. I think that people probably wouldn't think about it much. You might, if you were thinking about value, you'd probably think that 8 week one is more valuable. But at the same time, I don't know if you're thinking about that much. But if it is easy for your club to put on a longer one, feel free, because you're going to give more opportunities for the Successful Club and Better Speaker Series, educational talks, they're gonna give more than 3 speeches, they're gonna give more than 6. In a 4-week session, or a 4-session workshop, they're gonna give 3 speeches. If they have longer, they're gonna give 5, 6, 7. At the same time, they're only gonna get credit for 3 in their common communicator. So that's a little bit of a caveat. So my suggestion would really be 4, because you're getting people in the door, getting them their first 3 speeches, things like that.
And you do it weekly instead of, or once a month, how?
I think, personally, I would think you should do it tighter, like once a week, because these assignments are very tiny. These, if you're gonna read 3 chapters, but that's like 1 or 2 pages per chapter, and your 2 to 3 minute speech, I mean, it's hard to write a 2 to 3 minute speech, because as soon as you get done writing your thoughts down, you've got 2 to 3 minutes. So, yep.
It seems to me the key success is retention.
Mhm.
That means you should really have regular evaluation each time to make sure you meet the needs of the people there.
It's a good idea. So you're saying have an evaluation sheet for the participants, and maybe even your members as well, for each week, so that you can kind of get feedback, what should we do differently in a session, that kind of thing.
There's a form in the kit, for that, on the back of one of the manuals.
Yeah, I would also say, since the speeches are shorter, the evaluations are probably shorter too.
Yep.
It should be equal or something.
You have 2 to 3 minutes for an icebreaker, and your typical evaluation is 2 to 3 minutes, so
Right.
maybe cut it down to 1 to 2. Yes.
I just want to encourage everybody to keep that positive psychology going. When you are having the 4 speech agenda, you may have a smaller amount of people and then start out again 4 sessions, the 4 agenda. But after each one, always pick out whatever your evaluation is, make sure you're giving them some sort of positive feedback instead of being really, really harsh. So you want to see progress. And it's easy for us, coming from the workplace, to be harsh on somebody who's just learning.
Let's slide over to the resources tab. We can certainly continue speaking, but I just wanted to slide over to the resources tab. Your distance to the Speechcraft chair, which happens to be me, good resource on Speechcraft. There's Toastmasters.org, Education Speechcraft, Toastmasters.org, resource Speechcraft flyer that I mentioned before. Elevator pitch for Speechcraft, to sell it to people. I found a couple interesting videos there. Speechcraft training, so that if you wanted to send a link to people like, hey, watch this hour-long video, so before we run our Speechcraft, show them that. The what and why of Speechcraft, what it is, why you should run it, how to succeed with Speechcraft, kind of similar to this talk here. Then the videos I've been making that I've been mentioning, I made a YouTube playlist for them. You can watch them there. These are all case sensitive, all bit.ly links are case sensitive. And this exact presentation, if you wanted to look it up again, this would be the most important link if you wanted to get down, because then you could just get all of this right here by going to it.
Are we gonna get a flyer for this? I'm sorry to interrupt you, but.
I did not make a flyer for this particular thing, but if you write down one thing, write this down.
And perhaps you could just even send it to me, and we can get it up on the D6 website as a resource.
Full slides, or, yeah, that was the plan.
Yep.
So I'll definitely put this up, well, this should be up on the district, thing, whenever Nancy gets around to doing it, then there you go. But again, if you wanted to access it right now, bit.ly/Speechcraft game plan, capital S, capital G, case sensitive, very important. Alright, I'm gonna leave this up, but any Q&A or extremely constructive criticism? Any other questions before we go? I think I'm over time.
This was great, thank you.
Thank you for coming.